You're listening to How's All That Working For You? The podcast where we keep it real, ditch the sugarcoating, and ask the questions that bring actual change, not just more noise. I'm your host, Rachel D. Baker, helping you create some breathing room, set healthy boundaries, and reclaim your time without the guilt trip. This is real talk with a bit of sass, and we are always seeking the truth in God's Word. Today, we are doing something a little different. I'm bringing back a fan favorite holiday episode. This is my conversation with financial coach and mom of 5, Brittany Flammer. Y'all loved this one. And honestly, I'm right there with you. This is the kind of wisdom we need to hear on repeat. And every December, the world tries to convince us the only path to joy is spending money like we've got it on a tree growing dollar bills in the backyard. But you and I know better. And Brittany, she really knows better. But here's the fun part. Brittany has been busy lately. She's launched brand new tools and an entire membership since we talked. She has the Fit Finance Club. That's her membership to help you get your money under control without shame or stress, or spreadsheets that make you want to throw your computer into the nearest body of water. Has anybody else felt that? Is that just me? So before we hit play on this original conversation we had, I want you to know this. You can absolutely have a meaningful, joyful, deeply Christ-centered holiday season without going broke. You do not have to buy your kids love. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. Let's revisit this conversation with Brittany and let it remind you that simple and intentional is more than enough. All right. Hello, Brittany. How are you?
Rachel, I'm great. It's so good to be here.
I am thrilled that you agreed to come on today and talk with us. We are, I'm trying to get in the vibe for the holidays coming up. There is a little piece of me that every time when I start to get ready for holidays and I think about the holidays, there's just like a little bit of anxiety that starts creeping. Is that just me?
No, it's not just you. That's the whole thing. That's what happens because there's so many good things, but there's just so much to deal with and so much going on that it is easy to get overwhelmed.
Yes. And we want to avoid that. So that is why this month we are, in any way we can, we are kind of preparing ourselves. So we've talked about already how to kind of prepare our physical space, preparing the home in a way that works for you. But I knew I needed you because you're my money girl. And that's a big piece of this season. Like it or not, there's a lot of gift giving and receiving, and there's food and all the things. So I wanted to talk with someone who's better with money than I am. That would be you. It would be really just about anybody. Let's get real. But definitely you. You've helped me a lot. And I want to talk about how we can prepare our budgets, our wallets, what that can look like. So thank you for coming today to speak into that, because that is not my area of expertise. But before we jump into the money talk, I ask every guest as we get started. So I'm going to ask you too. I would love to know, what does breathing room look like for you?
So when I hear breathing room, instantly what I picture in my head is when you've been dressed up in like a fitted dress or a suit all day long, and then the end of the day, you finally get to unzip it and get into your yoga pants.
Yes.
That is what I visualize in my head.
That's so good.
So I feel like, but what that translates to is like being comfortable with where you are. And like life is crazy. There are going to be struggles and challenges. And I have 5 kids. There's a lot of chaos.
Girl, 5 kids. Can we just pause? Like, she just spits that out like it's not even that. I just got 5 kids. It's fine. Anyway, like, that's a thing. That's like, let's talking about clothing. Like, girls got a corset. Okay. So, okay.
So yeah, unless the corset strings.
Right.
But just knowing like there is going to be some chaos. There's going to be some stress, but not letting it get to you because you're okay with where you are and you've got a plan to move forward.
I love everything about that. That's so good. And just the visual. I'm a sucker for a good visual image. So that was really good. I like that. Okay. So as we talk about being intentional, right? Looking at where we are, preparing for the holidays, money, I feel like it's a stress point.
Yeah, how much to spend and how to pay for it and there's so many factors. In fact, Lending Tree has a study every year. And for the holidays last year in 2022, the average amount of debt was over $1,500. And that's the most that they have ever seen it. And of the people that took on debt, 63% of them did not plan on going into debt.
Is this like just for the holiday, like just Christmas debt?
Yeah, so it's not just holidays is what they call it. So not specifically Christmas, but in my mind here in North America, it's majority are celebrating Christmas.
Right.
But that's crazy. People not planning, but there's so much that happens. There are, like you mentioned, gift giving, but you have lots of parties. Every kid has a recital for everything they do.
Oh my gosh, yes.
There's so much, and it's not bad. They're all good things,
Mhm.
but it's overwhelming. There are ugly sweater parties that are so much fun, but it's so easy if you don't have a budget, it's easy. Obviously, you're going to blow your budget. And even if you do have a budget, you've gone way over what you should have spent. Then it's like, well, who cares at this point? Like, I've already blown it. What does it matter now?
Yes. Well, and also just that, like, whatever, it's the holidays.
Yeah, and it's the season of joy and giving, and it's easy to get caught up.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's so true. So, and I know for me, like, there's the money piece of it, but that's just like a little bit. When we talk about money, that also soaks up a lot of our time if we are trying to keep a budget and figure out what we can and can't spend. And the energy, I just feel like I get sucked dry every time I have to deal with money stuff. And so I would love from your experience, and you do a lot of financial coaching. And so this is your wheelhouse. But what tips do you have for us to just kind of prepare our budgets or even prepare our mindset around money for this season of life?
Sure. So there are so many like tangible money saving tips and budget items.
Mhm.
But before you even think about that, I think the best thing is to be intentional. You mentioned being intentional earlier,
Mhm.
is to be deliberate about what you're doing for the holidays because they are supposed to be an enjoyable time, but it is easy to get bogged down. A few years ago, 5 years ago, I was pregnant with our last kid, and I
Mhm.
was sick and it was like just trying to make it through the day.
Right.
And it was holiday season. And I was like, I cannot do everything we normally do. So I was like, something's got to change.
Mhm.
And that year we have like this big advent calendar that has like pockets. And what I would do is each day I'd put like a little slip or activity for what we were going to do for the day. And so our kids in the morning would pull it out and read what we're going to do.
Mhm.
And that year I was like, I can't do this. So I cut out a star in felt.
Mhm.
And we just moved the star from day to day. That was like all we did for the advent calendar.
I
And
love
like
it.
we still did some activities, but we just picked a couple of activities that were important to us that we wanted to do. So we did so much less that year. And you know what? That was like my favorite Christmas. We like enjoyed the season and focused on the more important things, not undoing everything.
Yeah. And I bet, honestly, I mean, we can't speak for the children, but I think that kind of thing can get overwhelming for kids too. Like there are a lot of things I think we do as whether it's moms, caregivers, or just family members. Like I got a bunch of nieces that are younger and we like to do fun things. But I do think that we often think in order for the kids to enjoy the season, we have to do and go and experience. And I got to tell you, I mean, as the mom side listening to like 24 days of an activity I'm like, what? I'm already tired. I'm just listening to it. And that was 4 kids and 1 growing. So I could imagine they probably enjoyed the activities, but I don't feel like it would be this huge letdown to not have something every single
No.
day
Well, and
either.
even like some of those activities were like simple little things. Like they weren't all big things, but
Mhm.
still it was just like I had to make a conscious effort to like, we're just going to pick a few things that are really important to us. And even now, so we still have that same felt star, and that's all we
Yeah.
do every year or every day we move it. But we ask our kids like what they want to do. And like their favorite thing is to drive around and look at Christmas lights.
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
well, we can do that one.
Yeah.
So I mean, we do have, but we usually let them each choose like something they want to do, and sometimes they want to do the same thing. So we do pick a few things, and we plan them in advance, and then we say no to things, and it's okay.
That can we just hold on to that for like we say no to things and it's okay.
Yes.
Which, we talk about that a lot here. When you say no to something, you're saying yes to something else, right? Or when you say yes to one thing, it's no to something else. There's always this trade-off. And for whatever reason, I think it's just like the experience, the joy, all the things. It's hard. It's hard to be like no to that fun thing, even though we have 500 other fun things happening.
Yeah.
So just want to wallow in that a second.
And then one other less tangible tip I have that's so hard, but to not compare, because it's so easy to look at what someone else is doing and it's a great thing, but just because they're doing it doesn't mean you have to do it. Or
Right.
like we do a gingerbread house and we do graham crackers. Like
Yeah.
I have friends that make beautiful gingerbread, but I'm like, it's for me, it's not bringing me joy. I like buying the graham crackers and doing the easy.
Yes.
So it's just choosing the things that are going to bring you joy and being content and
Mhm.
not comparing, which is a lifelong goal, right?
Right. Right. It's a daily thing to work at, but so helpful. And I love that you have that piece about your graham crackers. Like, I
Yeah.
think we all have things like that. That's like, well, but everybody else, why can't I? Who even cares? Does it serve you? Does it serve your family? Does it bring you joy? Is there any good contribution? No, we'll be doing graham crackers. Thank you. And I love that there's the squeezable icing. It's like
Yes.
already in the tubes. I remember as a kid, we would do Christmas cookies and mom always like homemade icing and dyed it the colors we wanted and all that. Oh my goodness. I'm just not that kind of mom.
Yeah, and it's okay if you are. If that brings you joy, do
Yes,
it. But if
do
it
it.
doesn't, then
Mhm.
don't waste your time and money. Like, it's just not worth it
Yes.
unless it brings you the joy. It's Marie Kondo with your money.
Yeah. There you go. Does it spark joy?
Yes.
I love that. Okay, so those are the intangibles, but you said that we also have some tangibles. Talk to me about that.
Yes. Okay. So the first thing is to be proactive. And I know this coming out, it's a little bit late in the season to do this maybe for this year, but for next year, the best thing I can recommend is to set money aside every month for Christmas or for the holidays, right? So we celebrate Christmas. So I know December 25th every year, I'm going to need some money for Christmas. It's whatever you want to spend. There's no right amount on how much you're going to spend or should spend. But if I think we might spend $1,000. So this year I'll pay attention to what we're spending. And if let's say we spend around $1,000 this year. So next year, I know $1,000 is a good ballpark. So that means $83 every month I can set aside. And I love having an automatic transfer from my checking account into a separate savings account. So the money is not there. You don't see it. You don't look at it.
Yes.
Wherever you do your banking, you can do it. Open up another account, or I love online banking. Ally, SoFi. I know you've heard me talk about those.
Girl, yes. Listen, you can preach it all here. Come on. Everybody needs it.
Yes. But just setting that automatic, like payday on the first, the second it's transferred out. So you don't think about it. You don't have to do anything. And then when it comes next year, you've got the money.
Yes. And I think that brings so much peace. Like to set it up initially. I know I've had thoughts of, oh no, is that where that money needs to go? Because if, anybody who's got my type of executive functioning skills, there's now and there's not now, right? And so when I look at my money, I look at that $83 that comes out in the month and I'm like, oh, but what if we need that now? Because I'm not thinking to Christmas. That's a year away, right? Like that's so far out. And so I love that tip to just have it automatically. I don't touch it. I don't look at it. I don't think about it. But then when it is now for Christmas, I have this account with the money in it ready for me to go. And I'll ask with that when you're talking about setting money aside for Christmas, you're thinking like gifts or like the meals that you do or the recitals, like any of those things. Is it an all encompassing?
For me, it is. You can be as detailed as you want. You could have a separate bucket for travel or for food or decorations. I lump it all into one, and it's mostly gifts. But I was going to talk about this. I figured it'd come up later, but I do have a budget template that includes sections for all of those that if your listeners are interested in, I'll share the link so they can get it for free.
Yes, we will have that link in the show notes, and you can talk about it again later. We just jumped it a little early. We will link everything. If Brittany's got a template for it, if she's got a shop, any of these things, spreadsheets, we're going to link it all because we need it. We're glad you made it.
Yeah. So it's what I use for my family, and you can be as general or specific as you want. But when I'm setting money aside, I just set it into Christmas. And then when Christmas rolls around, I start thinking about how we're spending it for Christmas. But just having some money, like it just takes off so much of the stress when the shopping comes. But I know with this, we're looking at November. We don't have that much time between now and Christmas is our example. So there are some things and what we're going to do, because I've planned our budget and I don't have enough for what we want to do for Christmas. So here's what I'm going to do.
Oh, I love this. Real life. Let's go.
Yes. First of all, a spending freeze. I don't know if you've ever done one of these.
I need to. Teach me your ways, Brittany.
So I know people that will do like a month-long spending freeze, and there is no way in heck I could successfully accomplish that. I think it's great if you could do it, go for it, but I could not.
Who can with 5 kids? Let's get real.
I don't know. So I like to do a week-long spending freeze, and it's what it sounds like. You don't spend any money that week. Bills, they are fine. They're all automatically paid anyway for us. So paying bills is good, but any money that does not have to be spent, I don't spend. So this means for groceries, I don't go grocery shopping. And so what I do is I look in the freezer, and I know you open up that freezer and you're like, there's nothing good in here. But when you go through it, you pull out that like meat that you're not quite sure what it is, or these vegetables that you bought and have never tried, or a freezer meal that's looking like, kind of
right. Like how long has that been in there? Yeah, I'm with you.
So we pull all of that out, like the random bags of fruit or veggies, everything. I go through that first, and I just list out everything we've got in our freezer. And then I plan meals around that. And I look in our fridge, and then I look at our pantry. And so I plan meals, and it is amazing what you can come up with when you have to. You get a little scrappy, but you can it's amazing. I'm always shocked at how much I can come up with what we've already got on hand.
I absolutely believe that, because I think even right now, as I think about like, I know generally what's in my freezer, what's in my, for the most part. And I do think like a lot of the money that I spend on groceries are like the favorite things. We like it. We want to have it. It's not like we're completely out of food. That's not really the food we want right now. And so we go get other better food. And so I know there are things in this house that we could eat, and just take a moment and like, how blessed are we to have that situation? So even in the moments where I feel like we don't really have a lot, we're low on money, even if it were to get to that point, like, well, sorry, kids, we're out of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You're going to have to suck it up with the frozen waffles that that nobody's been touching for however long. I know that we could survive longer without spending money.
A week is short enough that I'm like, okay, I can do it. It's only a few days, and then we'll be back to normal. And so I do it, not just grocery shopping, but like I tell my kids, it's a spending freeze. So I'm not spending money. So we're not going to do any, like my sons love to go to the trampoline park. That means no trampoline park. That means we can invite friends over, do a play date, go to the park. things like that, but we're not spending any money to do anything. If I have gift cards, we can use the gift cards because that
love
doesn't
that.
spend money.
Yeah.
But I know some people, if they know they're going to do a spending freeze, and they'll like plan for it and spend extra the week before. So if that's you, then just do it today. Start today. So like say normally we spend $1,000 a month on groceries. I go 1 week, that's $250 that I can set aside to our Christmas fund.
That's amazing.
So yeah, so something like that is totally doable,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a way to not earn money, but get money right away that you normally would spend and put it into your fund. I know people have strong feelings about credit cards. We use credit cards and we get cash back on our credit card. So that money, I just let it accumulate all year and then we spend it for Christmas.
That's so good.
That's like our Christmas budget. And that has always worked for us. The last year, that wasn't enough. So then I had to save some more. But I love that. Even cashback app. I bought a Fetch, Swag Bucks. Those are some of the popular ones. It's not a ton of money, but I use it and I let it accumulate. And then I get either Amazon gift cards, which is where we do a lot of our shopping.
Same, yep.
Or you can put it into PayPal or to your bank account. Or I know last year, my daughters love like Bath and Body Works. And it's really, I don't love it. And so I'm like, why would I spend like $5 on a soap when I could get one for, But so I used my Fetch rewards and gave them gift cards. And I'm like, okay, like win-win. I don't care what they buy. It might only be $25, but hey, that's a gift.
Oh, for sure.
So it does add up. And then I know another thing is just sell stuff. That's like the fastest way to get some cash. And I know you don't think you have anything to sell, but you look around your house and you can find something that someone will be interested in.
Yes. Well, and so for our kids, and we've done this for several years, kids want toys. They want stuff. They want to fill their rooms with all the things. And again, like first world problems, right? Like I feel like we are so gluttonous with stuff sometimes. But I have gotten to where I'll tell my kids, like, Christmas is coming or its birthday is coming. If it's either one of those times, there are other kids who don't even have half of what you have. We're going to clean some things out. And they can always find things that they haven't played with in a while, they haven't used in a while, or a game, board games, card games that they don't play anymore. And I mean, it either goes and is donated somewhere that benefits, like the children's home or something, or if they want to do a little yard sale, I'm not opposed to that. If, we can sell some things and get money that way. And so I think that even if you don't look around and see things that you can get rid of, I promise your children have stuff. Let's take a quick pause because I need to tell you about a free gift I created just for you. If you've been feeling like you need a minute to catch your breath, hear from God, and remember who you are outside of all this chaos, this is for you. It's a printable permission slip. Yes, an actual fill-in-the-blank reminder that you're allowed to rest, reflect, and realign with what really matters. When you download it, you get 4 designs of beautiful fill-in-the-blank permission slips and 20 permission slip ideas to get you started. You do not need the world's permission to step into your purpose, but sometimes it helps to see it in writing. So go grab yours today. Just click the link in the show notes or head over to racheldbaker.com to sign up and download your free copy. Now back to our episode.
Yeah, it's amazing when I tell especially if I tell my kids, like, oh, if you sell stuff, you get to keep the money. I'm amazed at what they're willing to get rid of.
Right?
It's like all of a sudden they don't care so much about that.
Exactly. Any other day, that's their favorite. But if they get money for it, then, I didn't need this.
Or if they think they need to make room to get a new toy, they have to get rid of an old one. It's amazing how much more willing they are. That makes me think of another tip. If you are trying to stick to a budget during the holidays, is to set your kids' expectations. Because no matter what you do, I mean, you want to give your kids things, experiences. You want them to be happy. You want to feel the joy and see them opening up something. Yes. But no matter what you do, a friend's going to get more. A friend's going to have a newer, nicer, more expensive. So you can't compete with other people. You don't want to try to compete, but you don't want your kids to be disappointed either. So last year, we spent the most we have ever spent on Christmas. And we're at the point where we don't really want, I don't want stuff to clutter up because you multiply it by 7 people and no matter, it just adds up really fast.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't want to clean it and take care of it. So we've tried to do more like experience type things. So we bought, and we've moved now. So we live in the mountains where it snows. So we got a season pass for our family to go skiing.
Nice.
And that was a lot of money, more than we normally would spend. So we warned the kids. We said, okay, you're only getting one gift from Dad and I. And then Santa will bring you something, but you'll only be getting one gift from us. And so we told them that at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
So they knew that going into it, they got a little bit from Santa and they got one gift from us. And that was their season ski pass. And you know what? Not a single one of them complained.
I bet.
Because we had warned them. They didn't have these expectations of having like hundreds of gifts.
Right.
I mean, they still went through magazines and looked online for things they wanted, but no one complained. And like, also, it's good to remember that at least for us, like they still get some gifts from grandparents and they do some cousin gifts. So it's not like they didn't get anything.
Right.
But it's so easy to think like, oh, feel like you have to do so much.
So in our family, even, like grandparent gifts or whatever, the last couple years, we live a couple hours from Memphis and where I grew up. We love to go to the zoo over there. And so like the last year or two, we have gotten a zoo membership because if you go twice, it pays for itself, right? For our family. So like that's worth it. And so I would say even from grandparents, whether it's you, whoever, I love those experience type gifts. Like here, we got you this membership. You can go to the zoo whenever you want, free parking and, whatever goes with that. So I love that you were able to do that. That's something for the whole family. It's more experiences, not just the day of. Maybe it's age, as I get older, I'm like, we just need to do things. We don't need stuff. Is that a sign of me getting older, Brittany?
No, I think it's a sign of your kids getting older, right?
Oh, there's that too. Yeah. We are in the teen years now. That's a whole thing. I've heard you say a couple times about spending and like staying in budget. And that just makes me think of like all the times that I do mess things up. Like, are we at a point, like, can I ask you like the biggest pitfalls, right? What are the things you see as a financial coach, as somebody who really works in this area? Overspending, blowing our budgets. Or maybe it's mindset pieces like stealing our joy from us. How can we not do those things? That's what I'd like you to just cure it all.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, that'd be great.
So, I mean, you talk about not being able to stick to a budget. For example, first of all, having a budget will help that.
Yes, there's that.
So it's good to have a budget to start with. And it can be as detailed or as simple as you want. Maybe it's, okay, we've got $500 for Christmas. And so you stick an envelope in your wallet. And every time you buy something for Christmas, you subtract $25 at Walmart. So now we've got $475 left. And you stick the receipt in your envelope. So then if you come across something else, then you can buy that and return something if you need to.
Ooh, that's so smart.
I hate returning things. I try to avoid it at all costs.
Yes.
But it is so easy. Like you buy this just in case you don't think of something better and then something else comes along and then you don't ever return it. So I like to just track how you're spending it. And it can be, so in my budget, I like spreadsheets. So I use Google Sheets so I can pull it up on my phone and just write in, we spent $25 at Walmart today.
Yeah.
Or the envelope in your wallet or just the notes app on your phone tracking how much you've spent.
Yes.
Because $20 here, $30 here, it adds up so fast.
Yes, it does.
And all of a sudden you've blown through it and it's barely Black Friday. Yeah.
Right.
I know some people that really struggle with sticking to their budget will use cash. Now, I personally hate cash. But if you can't stick to a budget, then that's a great way to stick to it.
When it's gone, it's gone. That's it. There's no more left in the envelope. People are not taking your receipts as money.
And some people like to do an overall Christmas budget. Like, okay, we've got $500. If I buy decorations, that comes out of my Christmas fund.
Mm-hmm.
Or it can, if you want to divide it up smaller, you can do, we have $100 for our Christmas party and we have $400 for gift. Like, it doesn't matter how you do it, whatever makes the most sense.
Right. And I have had a friend who was doing cash in envelopes before, and she had a certain amount of money per kid for her 3 kids. And so she had an envelope for each kid and knew, like, oh, I'm getting this for that kid. That money comes out of this envelope. It was legit. She knew what was up and stayed on track. So I think you can get that specific, right? If you need that and want to make sure you're staying on track. So
so whatever will work for you. So I personally, when I plan my budget, I like to divide it up and be specific. But then when it comes to my spending, I just kind of pull it all from the same pot.
Right.
And if I got this on sale, that means I have more money to spend somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Right. So that's what works for me, because I'm not great at being super, super detailed. But if you need that, then you can be super detailed. That's a great way to do it.
Yes. Love that. All right. So what about the mindset of it all? Because there's a lot of the tangible things we're kind of I want to make sure we hit both in both areas. So that just getting stressed out about things stealing our joy during the joyful season, right? Do you have anything on that we could also not do?
So it's like work in progress, right? Learn from my mistakes. What I like to do, and this is not budget related really at all, but I like to look at the calendar the month before and kind of plan. So we ask our kids, what is it you want to do? And so for us, it's the gingerbread house, and we do a competition and invite friends. So that's a big thing.
So fun.
Driving and looking at Christmas lights is on the list.
Mm-hmm.
So we get the 4 or 5 things that we know we're going to do,
mm-hmm.
and we put them on our calendar. And then there's always a piano recital or a choir. There's always some things that we're obligated to go to, right?
My son plays trumpet and we must go. They have the Christmas concert. Yes, I'm with you.
So we put the we want our must do items, and I put them on a calendar so that I know that they're going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the stuff, I don't worry about it. I like to get my shopping done early.
Mm-hmm.
And then not go to the stores.
Right.
Because there's so much more traffic and people get cranky. So I just avoid anything and do grocery pickups. I don't have to go into stores. And if I'm not going into stores, I'm not tempted to buy more.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's not everyone's personality, but that's kind of mine. We buy stuff in advance, and I like to buy a lot online. And then then I just don't go shopping. I avoid it as much as possible.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what works for us. Just kind of prioritizing, putting the important things on the calendar.
Yeah.
And then not worrying about the other stuff.
You talked earlier about comparing to what other people are doing. If you know these are the things, it's like you said, the kids have that to look forward to. They know that that's coming. And so even if you see, this family over here doing this super fun thing, why aren't we doing that? Well, we've already got our stuff planned. So I can see how that comparison piece could be diminished a bit by planning ahead of time.
Another thing that we really like to do is some sort of a service as a family.
Mm-hmm.
We started this a few years ago. My mother-in-law, instead of giving us a gift, she gave us money to do a service as a family. So she gave us $100, and everyone, we could do whatever we wanted. So that year, our family chose, I took the kids and they each picked out fabric, and I sewed some really simple quilts. We did not the tie quilts, but the fringe quilts. And so we have the special scissors. And so my kids did that. And they did tie one, I think. So it was the blankets were not pretty because it was I think Paw Patrol was what was popular. It was they weren't the cutest, but they each picked out their own fabric. They were each excited. They each got a help. And then they went with us when we took them to deliver them to the shelter we took them to. And it was just great to be oh, this is for people that need it more than we do. So it's just it's the giving mindset, and it was as a family. And so you walk away from stuff like that, not wanting more stuff, just being happy with what you have.
Oh, I love that so much. And just to put things back into perspective, we do that here. We've got a food pantry at our local church, and we try to make sure, the kids, their grandparents help run it. And so if they can go and help, we want them to be able to do that and interact with whoever's coming and give them smiles and hugs, all the things. But it's like you said, I think it's really easy. And especially those of us, if you're looking at social media all the time during this season, that comparison, envy, coveting my neighbors, whatever, like all of that can really build up. And that's the antidote, right? Like we talk about having gratitude, doing gratitude journals, and that mindset help pull you out of a funk, right?
Yes.
And I love that you are really intentional about, this is a time of service. This is a time of giving. This is like, I don't want to hear about your Lego sets anymore. We're going to go and make blankets for people who are cold and don't have them. Put it back in perspective. That's so important.
So we've done that in various forms every year since then, and it's been great. And it's not always perfect. It doesn't always look great. One year we did refugee kits, and like I took everyone to buy the stuff, and I was like, this was a terrible idea. I was like, no, I should have gone and bought it and then had them assemble the kits, right?
We learn as we go. We learn as monitor and adjust.
My husband's like, whose idea was that? We're in the store at Walmart, the middle of the season, chaos. Anyway.
No. I'm getting hives just listening to you talk about this right now. That is the worst.
But it doesn't, there were years when we didn't have any extra money. And so it was donating stuff so one year they needed books for refugees. And so we went through our little home library and each kid picked out a book. So it didn't cost us anything. Or like you mentioned, the food pantry, you can serve. It doesn't have to be big, but it really is.
Yeah.
Puts you in, it gives you more gratitude for what you have. And
yes,
it just puts the whole season into perspective.
Yes. I just had a conversation with somebody the other day talking about this idea of just the giving and the serving. And they were saying, I love that I have the opportunity to be so generous with my money and all of this. But as we were talking, we talked through it, and it was a really good conversation that kind of led to, not everybody has, like you were saying, that extra money to give, but like your kids could give a book, or you show up and just being the hands and feet of Jesus where you're at, and just to smile at somebody, just to give them a hug. So glad you're here today. Those things, they don't take any money. They don't take the budgeting. You just show up and love on people. And I love just that intentional, right? We're talking about being intentional and planning. I think putting a time like that in for your kids, for your family, so good and helpful with the mindset of it all. So, glad we went there. Thank you for that.
Yes. And it's fun to see what the kids come up with. We ask them for their input, and it's fun to see to get them thinking about that and see what they want to do.
Yes, that's so good. All right. I could talk to you forever. I'm going to try to wind us down. So just a couple more questions. I would love to know any tools or strategies, because you've mentioned, you Google Sheets and using that on your phone as well and things but any tools or strategies that you have found that are really helpful for you with managing your time or allowing for some breathing room? Because when I think about managing finances and stuff, especially in the season, I'm like, it takes so much time. It takes so much energy. How can we create a little breathing room in this space at this time?
Yeah. So you've probably heard the acronym KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Keep it as simple as possible. I think people overcomplicate things. Like I said, it could be an envelope in your wallet when it comes to your budget.
Mm-hmm.
You do what works for you. I like spreadsheets, so I use spreadsheets, and I use Google Sheets. So that means I can pull it up on my phone when I'm at the store to see how much is left in this category or put it in. Some people don't like spreadsheets, so pen and paper works, or there are so many apps. If you're a digital person, there are so many apps. EveryDollar is probably my favorite, easy to use one, but anything that works for you, but keeping it as simple as possible. don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah. And you've mentioned a few other like doing grocery pickup, right?
Yeah,
Instead of
yeah.
going and taking all 5 children to the store. I can't, like, seriously, I
We
get
don't do that. It does not work.
every time I'm like, oh no. You're a brave woman. So grocery pickup, using whatever app or tool works to manage the money. Anything else that we need to know about?
Lowering your expectations, I think, helps.
Yes, we talked about that.
Everything in life, that helps with everything.
Yeah, just everything. Just bring it on down, guys. Bring it down. That's so good. Okay. And then second to last question, I always ask, is there a book or a podcast that you would like to recommend for our people?
Okay, so I knew you were going to ask me this, so I've been thinking about it. And I have a couple. I don't have just one. I have a couple.
Come on, let's get them all.
If you like to read books, probably my favorite is The Wealthy Barber. It's like 80s or 90s, so it's a little bit dated, like who uses a barber? Like, do we call them barbers? And but
I mean, so it's like from the 1900s, as my children would say.
Yes. But the concept is still there.
Okay.
And it's a barber that's wealthy. Even though he didn't make very much money, he becomes wealthy. So it's kind of a novel form, him sharing his experience. So I really like that book.
Okay.
I know people have very strong feelings about pro or against Dave Ramsey, but whether or not you agree with him, they did a study on millionaires, 10,000 millionaires, and the statistics on that are so interesting. So I'll share a link to the findings of their study.
Oh, we'll put it in the show notes. All links in the show notes.
So interesting to see, like, oh, guess what? Teachers are one of the top 5 professions of millionaires.
That's
and like
so crazy.
Teachers are notorious for not getting paid very much, right? So so it's really interesting to see how us as normal everyday people that don't have huge high-paying jobs can become successful with money.
Yeah.
So whether or not you like Dave Ramsey, his study was really interesting. And then there's also a podcast I like. There are a lot of great podcasts, but the one I come back to the most is probably The Money Guy. He has a little bit different philosophy than Dave Ramsey. I feel like it's more mainstream. If you're trying to get out of debt, Dave Ramsey's awesome. If you're trying to invest and figure out and you're okay with some debt, Money Guys is a great way to go. And they have lots of like Q&As on their podcast or YouTube. So I like all of those.
I love it. And I love the different people that are connected to all the different recommendations. Sometimes we have these money conversations and people do ascribe to like, this is the guru. And it's how I feel about coaches too, or like people who have digital courses, like they come on and say, this is the way, the only way it will serve. That I've never once found that to be true, unless it was Jesus Christ preaching salvation. Like there's nobody else that can come out and say, here is the way. So I love that you're pulling from different sources.
Yeah, it's been interesting because I coach for Dave Ramsey. And so I coach people going through his process. And that's awesome. But then I have a lot of people that I would say are more mainstream, right?
Yeah.
That are okay with the car loan and are okay with some of these things. And I'm like, okay, Money Guy is a little, anyway, so for different personalities.
Yeah. Different values, different preferences, different goals, just like anything else. I think, we pull from what serves us where we are and where we're trying to get to. So good. Okay. The last question, super easy. How can people get in touch with you and learn from your awesomeness?
YouTube is where I am most consistent. I have lots of videos and tutorials and I share our budget, like our actual numbers.
Yeah, you are like out there sharing all the things for the world. If you would like we talk a lot about vulnerability, transparency, authenticity. Like if you want that in money, Brittany's your girl. Go watch her videos.
Yes, I had to before I started sharing our net worth. I was like, I had to ask my husband, like, James, are you okay if I like share people our actual numbers? And he's like, sure, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, because that's like not normal for people. But I'm like open book when it comes.
I love it.
People are money's taboo for people, so I don't want to be taboo. So I share my personal experience. This is what's worked for us. So I'm consistent, lots of videos on YouTube. I am also on Instagram, but I am not. I feel like you see my more real life, like the craziness behind the scenes. Not as much budgeting stuff there.
That's okay. We like the real life stuff too.
Yes.
And you've got an Etsy, like you talk about these spreadsheets and stuff. You have an Etsy store, right?
Yes, I do. I sell my templates all on Etsy. But the holiday template is totally free. So with that link, you can have it for free.
All right. Holiday template linked in the show notes. Definitely grab that along with any and all other links for Brittany. You want her. Now you know her. You love her. Learn from her wisdom as I am doing on a regular basis. Thank you so much, Brittany, for being here, sharing your wisdom, and just chatting with me today.
Yes. Thanks for having me.
If this conversation hit you the way it hit so many women last time, and the way it hits me every time I hear it again, make sure you check out what Brittany is offering now. She's taken everything she teaches and built the Fit Finance Club, that membership designed to help you actually stick with the habits that bring peace to your budget and breathing room back to your life. Coaching, community, accountability, all the things most of us wish we had when the bills and the grocery prices start giving us hives. And listen, as you walk into this holiday season, please hear my heart. You don't owe your family a Pinterest perfect Christmas. You don't owe the world a highlight reel of your holiday season. Just take that pressure off right now. What you do owe yourself is peace. Joy does not come from overspending. It comes from honoring what matters and just trusting God with the rest. And when you release everyone else's expectations, that's when the season actually becomes holy again. Less financial stress, more Jesus. That's the vibe we're going for here, right? You can find all of Brittany's updated resources, the free downloads, her Fit Finance Club, all linked in today's show notes. Whether you are hearing this conversation for the first time or getting a refresher, thank you for listening. If this episode encouraged you, send it to a friend who's stressing over their holiday budget. Until next time, breathe. Like really right now, let's breathe and pray and pay attention to what actually matters. You are loved more than you know.